This is video number 3 for cello players. In this video, we're going to actually get to play on our instrument. We're going to learn the names of the strings, and we're going to learn how to pluck the strings, but just a couple of the strings. So what you need right now, I need you to get your cello out of the case. I need you to adjust the end pin to the correct height, and then pause the video now, get those things done, and then join me again. Now, if you are uncertain of the correct height, remember, it's somewhere between your nose and your eyebrows, somewhere in that general area. So check that first. If it's above your head, too tall, clearly. If it's only hitting your chin, too low, of course, make it a little bit longer. All right, so let's review the instrument hold first. So first thing, got your chair here, foot in front of each leg of the chair. Okay, now I'm going to take a baby step out, and I'm going to sit on the edge of my chair. Now, you can't see this at the moment, but the the rock stop, I've made a triangle with my toes in the rock stop. I'm going to put the end pin in the rock stop, and then it's straight out. That's how I know it's the correct distance from me. And then I'm going to lean it back up against me. Now, the peg should go behind your left ear. It hits your chest right here. Get that done, and then join me again in the video. I am actually going to use a viola to show you the names of the strings. And this is simply because I can come up close with the viola, and I don't really feel like lifting a cello over my head today. So I'm going to come up with here. I want you to stay in your seated position with your cello, and I want you looking down at the bridge at this angle, just like you're playing your cello. Okay, so what I have here is a viola. This is what you should be seeing coming down from looking down at your instrument, because your head is up here. Now looking down, I want you to notice there is one string that is obviously fatter than the others, thicker, and there is one string that is skinnier than the others, thinner. The thin string is called the A string. The thick string is called the C string. You're not going to use the C string for a really long time. However, we will use the skinny string, the A string. The A string should be on the side of your left knee, okay? The skinny string, if you're not really able to see that one's skinnier than the others, the A string is by your left side, the fat string, the C string is by your right side. So we have the A string, then the D string, then the G string, and if you remember here, the C string. Your book, if you want to look in your book, you can. On the bottom of page 3, it shows you it has a pretty good picture of that, showing you that the C string is the fat string and the A string is the skinny string. All right, again, the one next to your left side is your A string, the skinny string. The one next to your right side is your C string. You are only going to do D and A for a really long time. In fact, all the way through number 92 in the book, you're only going to be playing on the D and the A string. Now you should still be in your playing position right now. Make sure you have not started slouching and you're sitting back in your chair like this. Sit up on the second half. Your feet are in front of the legs of the chair. Your cello is leaning up against you. And hopefully you can see both knees. See where my knees are? Your knees are going to hit just below the C bout. Remember the C bout from video number 1? They're going to hit just below the C bout. That's where we want that. Now, the way we are going to pluck, we are not going to use our bows for a long time. We're going to make sounds by plucking. I want you to take your right hand, and I want you to make the shape of an L with your thumb and your index finger, like this. Okay? Now, I want you to put your thumb on the side of the fingerboard, about halfway between where the neck ends and the fingerboard ends. The neck ends right here. The fingerboard ends right here, so about halfway. And it's going to be on the right side. Put your thumb on the right side, halfway between, right there. Now we've got this index finger sticking out here. Your other fingers are curled back. Now I want you to tilt your wrist up so it's like you're looking at a watch on your hand or something on your wrist right there. Your wrist is up facing towards your nose. Now reach over and touch the skinny string. Now the way that we pluck, we're going to just put our finger, you're going to pull it towards your hand. So put it outside the last string and pull towards your hand. And I want you to play the A string 4 times. And I want you to play it right after me. 4 A's, echo me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. A, 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 A. Try that again. A, and go. A, 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 A. Now switch over and go to the D string. The D string is right next to the skinny string. So you're going to use the skinniest two strings first. The A string is the very skinniest. Right next to it is the D string. So now you're going to put your finger in between the A and the D, and now you're going to pull towards your hand. Don't ever flick it away like that. Pull towards your hand. The reason your wrist needs to be up is that gets this whole part of your finger on the string to pull, and it'll give you a much nicer sound. If you pluck like this, it's not going to sound as good. Hear that sound? We don't want that sound. We want, oh, so much better. So now you're going to echo me with 4 Ds, okay? I'm going to play 4 Ds. You're going to play 4 Ds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. D, 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 D. Try it again. D, and go. D, 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 D. Now do 2 A's, the skinny string, and 2 D's, the next to skinny string. 2 A's, 2 D's. Echo me. A, D, D. Go. A, D, D. Try it again. 2 A's, 2 D's, and go. A, D, D. Now you might have noticed I started tapping my foot along with the playing. What I was doing there was keeping a steady speed. Speed in music is called tempo. What we're going to do is we are going to use a metronome to keep a steady beat. This is a metronome. This one actually is a metronome and a tuner combined. Metronomes are free online. I use a free app on my phone called Pro Metronome. That's what I use for my metronome generally. Sometimes I use this one. What a metronome's sole job is to keep a steady beat. Now this is not going to be incorrect. It's electronic that's going to go, it's going to beat at a very certain speed. Again, speed is tempo in music. So I'm going to turn my metronome on, and the metronome, all it does is the clicky thing. If you have an older sibling, you've heard them practicing, that's what this is. It's called a metronome. And I can change the speed. Whoops. I can change the speed to go faster, 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 faster. Or to go, that's very fast, or to go back to slower. Okay? Now, the speed that I have it set on is 63. I like that tempo for what we're doing. A lot of the stuff that we will do now will be on 63. So I'm going to set the metronome, and here's the thing. Why is this so important that we stay together with the metronome? Well, one day, hopefully, we're all going to be playing together, and we need to learn how to keep a very steady beat, because there is no such thing as the right note at the wrong time. In music, if it's a little bit early, it's no good. If it's a little bit late, it's no good. It's got to be exactly at the right time, or it is not correct. So we're going to play with the metronome, and we're going to pluck exactly with it. I'm going to play 4 Ds, then you're going to play 4 Ds, exactly with the metronome. Get your good playing position again. Tall posture equals tall, a good strong sound. 4 Ds first, not the skinny one, next to it, 4 Ds. Echo me. And go D, 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 D. Now do A, right with the metronome. Go A, 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 A. 2 Ds, 2 A's. And go D, D, A, A. Reverse, 2 A's, 2 D's. And go A, D, D. Now in our next video we're going to learn some musical symbols, but the video after that is when we're going to start actually doing a little bit of playing music from your book. And before we do that, I need you to practice with a metronome, just practicing going back and forth between D and A. You need to get really good at that so you can get really fast at it and not accidentally hit the wrong string. Remember, you're pulling towards your hand, your wrist is up, you're Cello is leaning up against your chest. The knees are right below the C belt. Check those things. Oh, and you're sitting up in the second half of your chair. You're not leaning back in your chair. Nice, tall, strong back posture. Practice those things and you will be ready for the next video.